So, I've been doing these audio recordings for a while now. Um, like I said, I've done some other ones that I posted up in another profile, like in another channel. Um, Basically talking about the same thing. Basically talking about shipping and receiving. Anything that has to do with warehousing, music. It was mainly those three things on the other channel. I still have it up, and I don't know. Maybe one day I'll put them both together or something. But as of right now, just something that's been on my mind is basically like just trying to put the whole story together on top of ZZ reports. Shipping and receiving is a book, a TV series. Like I don't know what it is right now. I know what I would like it to be, you know, but I've just had so many different ideas when it comes down to it, and it's just hard to all put it together because if I do it as a script, I really don't have any experience in the actual script writing. I know what I would want to say in dialogue, but as far as like just formatting it and obviously putting this character says this character says that, okay, that's easy. But on top of like doing interior, exterior, time setting, you know cold opens, act 1, act 2, act 3, like I still need a lot of experience on how to do a lot of that. um so that's why I say that I don't know if I want to turn it into a book, because if I do it into a book, I feel like it would be a lot faster. Just basically being able to start writing down just the way the story's gonna go. Um, but then again, like I just want this to be, I don't want to say perfect, but I want to put everything that I can as far as like detailed on how I want the story to go, because you know in the sense of things, shipping and receiving is basically it's going to be everything, all the experiences that I've been through right now on the road between these past 6 years now that I've been on the road, 5 to 6. But in the storyline, I have a total of, it was originally 7 books, 7 series, 7 seasons. But I decided to change it into 8 because I decided to add one more season that has to do with strikes, like strike sites. Like basically when a company goes on strike. That's one type of place that being in this field, being in the third party world, that you go into, because there's a lot of companies that decide to go into strike for different reasons, and sometimes we're in the middle of that, having to go help them out and support them with any logistic services that they need, and just kind of getting an experience for it, because my experience for being at a strike site was dope. I'm not gonna lie. Basically, we were stuck in a room for a week. We got paid for that week just chilling, sitting around. We only showed up to the warehouse. I think it was 2 days. I think we only showed up 2 days to that warehouse. Yeah, it had to have been, because the first night we went in there, it was Saturday night. We went and we started picking, and we ended up staying right there to the hotel next to the Commerce Casino. It was right there in LA. But just shit about the strike side. Like, since homeboys are outside on strike, you know, it's kind of tough. The psychological part, as far as like getting to know people that are on strike for what they're fighting for. And I could totally understand, because they're fighting for their job and they're fighting for their money and their benefits and everything. So, I understand that, but at the same time, like this is what my job called me to do, to come in, to work for a little while here, because, from what I know, the company that we went and helped, they ended up working the agreement with the union, and they ended up just letting us go. Like, they didn't need us, but I got the experience with 2 different strike sites. And it was a little different on both ends, to be honest. Actually, you know what? No, it wasn't. Like, the company workers that were already working there, they were pretty much like, hey man, it is what it is, I didn't have a problem with anybody, so that was kind of the good thing. But I kind of just went in working, minding my own business, kind of just doing what I had to do. And so we went in that first day, we helped them pick, order select, and then they were just straight up backed up. Like, we were just picking the whole night. We ended up picking like crazy hours. We ended up picking like 10 to 12. But what ended up taking everything longer was, for the people that were outside on strike, with the signs and everything. They would stand in front of the cars, in front of the vehicles that we were going back to work in, or back to the hotel in, and obviously they have the right to stand in front of the vehicle. And I didn't mind. I mean, at the end of the day, like, if I was in that situation, I'd probably be doing the same thing. But so we waited, and that ended up taking like another hour just for us to get out of the warehouse. And then we had a good amount of cars in front of us. And then we ended up going back the next day, but then their company workers ended up just working that shift. So their managers and their supervisors it was Mother's Day. Their managers and their supervisors just literally told us, like, chill in the break room. Like, you fools chill here. There was a good amount of us, probably over 20 of us. And they basically told us, use your phones. If you've got laptops or something, if you've got a tablet or something on you, just go ahead and pop that out. I think it was the NBA season when the Nuggets were playing the Timberwolves on Mother's Day. Something like that. There was a basketball game going on. There should have been, at least, I think. But so we ended up just chilling there the rest of that night, and then the homeboy in charge, the lead that was in charge, he had a meeting at the end of the night, and he put us all together, and he basically told us that he was going to send us a message in the morning if we were going to come to work or not. He said as of right now, they didn't need us for the next day, so everybody just chill in the hotel. We ended up going back to the room, and they didn't need us for that whole week. We ended up just chilling in the room for the whole week. We chilled from Monday to Friday. Then on Saturday morning, they switched us to that other strike site. And then we we ended up working there for like 14 days straight. So see, like it's just fucking way different when it comes to both type of sites and whatnot. Um, so that's why I wanted to add that, because there has been other experiences that I've heard of and whatnot, that basically the same thing happens, and I can make a storyline out of that, and I can make a whole season out of that. So that would probably be the best thing to do for a site like that. Basically because you can just add so much storylines. And like, think about it. I've heard people that go to a strike site and they're there for a month. Like, think about it. You're just chilling in the room for a whole fucking month, knowing that you're not gonna go to work. You just make a storyline out of that. And in the book, since it's gonna be a group of people, that basically they work together and they're comfortable around each other, and they've been, doing this together for the past years and whatnot. At that point, they're just gonna be able to do so much, and at that point they're gonna have money saved up, so they're gonna be able to, move around and not just be in the hotel room. And by that point, at the end of the day, they're gonna be managers and supervisors, really just moving up in the company. So they're just gonna have a lot more on their plate, and you can open up to a lot more storylines. So that's kind of the way that I look at it. So that would be maybe around season 6 or 7. I think I was gonna do it on season 6. I think the best idea would do it in season 6, and then have 2 more seasons after that. But basically, like I said, everything's just gonna be on all the experiences that I've had. Um, you know, I've been to warehouses, from automotive warehouses to grocery, perishable, dry, freezer. I've been to warehouses where they unload, and when they ship out, just like scrubs, like stuff that they use in medical offices to cover up your feet, maybe like when you're having surgery or something. um, I've been to automated warehouses. That's basically everything run by automated machinery. I've been to dog food warehouses, like pet foods, um, stuff like that. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? I've just been to a lot. I mean, I just, like I said, these videos I just say off the top of my head, so I try not to look at my phone. Um, that way I can just kind of get better at talking and just kind of be able to talk off the top of my head. But to be honest, when it comes to this type, I don't want to say there is just one main warehouse, but to be honest, it's mainly the grocery warehouses, the dry, perishable, cooler, freezer, in that aspect. That's my, I don't want to say my favorite, but yeah, for sure, it's just where the most action is at, where all the movement is at. It just depends what kind of scenario or what kind of warehouse you would want to be at. Um, like I said, that would be my main experience. I've also been to what else? Like I said, the automotive as well, where they have car parts and stuff like that. Um, Seasonal warehouses where they have just seasonal merchandise and things like that, like things that you can decorate for outside your home and things like that. But let's see. I worked at a Home Depot. That was another one, and you know, I say that one because like doing those toilets, carrying like, oh fuck, carrying like the walls, like the dry walls, the stuff that you would have to carry, like the the marble plates, the marble plates, like table plates, like countertops. Like, you would have to carry those shits. Those shits were like 80 pounds, like 100 pounds. Those shits were heavy. The toilets were those shits were a fucking drag. Um, like meat warehouses where they just have straight up meat. What else? And more than anything, just like grocery warehouses. But so that's what the main focus is gonna be on. Just these 7 people. And I mean, if you've heard some of my other videos, that's what all of this is about. It's about a group of people, 7 people, that start up a traveling third-party logistics company. They're going to go from state to state, from warehouse to warehouse, and they're going to start offering the logistics services. They're going to do their own philosophy, and they're going to do their own psychology behind everything, and basically Will and Steve are going to be the people that bring these other 5 people in. Will is going to be the person that's going to basically be the mastermind behind this whole empire, and he's the one that's going to have the most experience out of everything in this field. Steve is going to be his business partner, and as far as investing, and he's also going to be in charge of bringing these 5 people in. Will is going to let him know that he needs people that are going to come in for the next 11 months and be able to come and be available for the next 11 months here, so they can start gathering data. He wants to do this correctly. He wants to do this from the ground up, as far as he wants to build a system, a performance pay scale system that's going to properly be paying associates that work for their future company, and just cut out all the bullshit, cut out all the downtime, make sure that they're working with accuracy, make sure that they're coming in and they're getting paid for what they do. If they come in, they want to fucking goof around, fuck off, then they're gonna get paid like shit. Want to come in, smash out the fucking work, they're gonna get paid good. It's as simple as that. The reason for getting this data is so they can show their companies that they're going to partner up with, that they're going to come in here ready to go, organized, with time in mind, basically letting them know that the people that they bring in to work for them are legit. They're getting paid premium, and that's what they're going to come in doing. And that's exactly why they want to build this system. That way, when they start hiring people in the future for their company, they get them up to speed with training. They get them up to speed with all the machinery. They get them up to speed with safety. They get them up to every aspect when it comes to warehousing. So that's one thing I see in this world of logistics. Just when it comes to training, we just have to understand that some people just are smarter than others, and some fools take forever, or some foolitas take forever to fucking learn, and some just catch on real quick, and that's what they're gonna try to manage with their company. They're gonna try to put people where they need to go. They're not gonna get someone that does not know how to pick to order select. They're not gonna get someone that does not know how to use a reach truck to use a reach truck. They're gonna do everything correctly. They're gonna do everything professionally from the ground up. And that's going to start with putting a timing, because apart from unloading containers, because that's the main goal to be getting into, to partnering up with these companies. The data that they're going to gather is on unloading containers. And after they go in and start partnering with these companies, that's when they're going to start going in and showing that they know more than just unloading. They know how to run the whole operations. When they bring these 5 people in to come in and gather this data, they're going to have them here for the 11 months, and they're going to be paying them in cash. They're going to be working 6 days, 16-hour days, 8-hour days. They're going to be 8 of the hours they're going to be unloading, and the other 8 they're going to be learning and studying just everything that has to do with the world of logistics. Will and Steve are basically going to let them know that they're not going to be here to bullshit, because they're going to be making a lot of money. They're not going to be paying any taxes, because they're going to be paying them in cash, and they don't want them going and blowing everything. They want them going home with something and making this time worth it. So they're going to come in, they're going to start working their ass off. If they cannot do this, do not come. It's that simple. They need people who are going to be ready to go work for these 11 months. Their main goal is to gather the data. They cannot wait on anybody. They cannot just stand by. No. Obviously, if there's an emergency back home, okay, that's different. But if they're going to start with bullshit 3-4 months down the line, just know. This isn't the time. This isn't the place. They just know. At the end of the day, they're going to let them know. If they're going to fucking bounce. But you're going to miss the opportunity of a fucking lifetime. It's that fucking simple. You want to be with bullshit? Get the fuck out of here. You want to make money? Let's go. Simple as fucking that. So, the first season is just going to be about training. That's it. Training. About once they're out there, about what they're going to be running into, about what they're going to be learning, about the type of things they're going to have to learn and say to start making their way into being permanent partners with companies. The main goal is to go in and gather contracts and start running their tech ops operations. You know, be a 3PL that's slowly but surely getting contracts and partnering up with these companies and doing their operations, running their operations, and helping out any way they can. You know, when they come in, once again, they're just gonna let them know basically everything. And like I said, I have a lot of the dialogue ready to go. It's just about really sitting down and writing it. But right now, since I'm working and trying to focus more on doing these audio recordings, I can't really focus enough to sit down and write it. But I have a lot of it in my mind already ready to go, and I've wrote this shit already so many times on, you know, just drafts around all this. But that's what the main topic of season 1 is going to be about. Coming in and getting to learn all this, getting to learn the world of logistics, and more than anything, just getting to learn how to work, live, with each other. You know, they're going to be a team moving forward from now on. So they really have to just learn how to live with each other, work with each other, communicate with each other, um, help each other, support each other, just different situations like that or different things like that. It's gonna be them 7 really trying to grow this company from the ground up with their own philosophy and with their own tactics. So, they're gonna have to do a lot of growing together, a lot of just a lot of communicating, a lot of growing up together and whatnot. And this is gonna be the main topic for season 1. Just training, learning, focusing what the future is gonna be like in this field, gathering this data, getting to know each other, and really just seeing the whole training process of what it is to work in a warehouse. That's the main goal for me. There's going to be a big training process for the whole world on what it's like to work at a warehouse. That's what this is. So I hope everybody pays attention, because we're going to do this perfectly, and we're going to go, and this show and these 7 people are going to be the whole training video on how it's going to go, and how the training is to start up a company, because that's the main goal for this show. This is the way I would start up my company if I had the opportunity, and the way that it's going to be shown on this show is the way I would be able to do it if I had the money. So that would be the main one of season 1. Season 2, they're gonna go out and they're gonna basically get a contract, and start going and unloading. Going and unloading with this contract, and this is where they're gonna get their first local site, where they permanently inside that warehouse. They're gonna sign a long contract of how long they're gonna be partnered up for, and what they're gonna be there for, what departments are gonna be running, and basically this is gonna happen after season 1. And season 1, after unloading a load for a truck driver that was fairly impressed on how fast they unloaded it, and he gets their information down after somebody talks to him and lets them know that their goal is to start up a company. And he lets one of his buddies know in New York. He drives back up to New York, where that load is coming from, or where his buddy's at and whatnot, and he lets him know about this company, and his buddy calls him up. So they're gonna make their way up to New York, and this is when they're gonna basically start learning the whole process of the hiring process, learning how to hire people, the laws of hiring people. This is all the stuff I have to learn as well, and how to just add this onto the script. And I also want to juice it up, so they're gonna get into controversies on maybe hiring illegal people. Just like the real world, you see a lot of illegal documents that people are using. So just to spice it up and things like that, and they're gonna start hiring illegal people, since some of the people of the 5 are gonna be Latin. They're gonna start hiring Latin people that they start knowing, and this will just be to kind of add to the show, just to kind of break away from the good type show. This is gonna be more filled with drama, thriller, things like that. They're gonna come with not a sketchy background, but with they're not. I don't want to say they're not nice people, but they're mainly nobodies right now. They're just doing nothing with their life, So they really don't have a lot going on for them. So it kind of makes sense that they're not kind of going down the right path. But you'll get to know them. I already have them all written down and things like that. But as of right now, this is where they're gonna this is the kind of attitude, or this is the kind of things that they'll be getting into. Um, like I said, just this is shit you see all over the world, man. Just people working with fake fucking papers and shit like that. So they're gonna partner up. They're gonna start hiring people right there. They're gonna start making a little known for themselves, like a known name for their company. And this is mainly what that season is gonna be about. Just start hiring people. Um, and there's just gonna be so many storylines in between, but that's that's something that I could just add into. I just want to kind of show right now what the main topics would be for each season, and mainly going down. You know what I mean? Um, season 3 would be about now really going deep into order selecting and deep into picking. And what I mean by that is going to a warehouse that they're just going to be working non-stop, crazy hours, just all around, all year around. Just they're going to lose their souls once again with the whole picking process. And just to keep spicing things up, they're going to, after being in the whole picking process a couple of months, they're going to start getting more deep into management. And they're going to find a way to steal inventory from that warehouse and basically just come up on some inventory from that warehouse. You know what I mean? One of the characters is going to find a way to move stuff around, make the numbers not add up, and they're going to start sneaking pallets out. And this is more controversy or more thriller, just added to the story to see where it kind of leads up to. But there's just gonna be so many things around, so many sideline stories. Because it's not just gonna be, like I said, one. It's gonna be 7 characters at the end of the day, plus everybody they're gonna be hiring. This is gonna take a full dive on picture of just people that are living life on the road, going from warehouse to warehouse, like I said, traveling, going around and just working. And from what we see now, they're just finding ways to start getting into shenanigans, and just getting into some serious stuff. You know what I mean? You hear a lot of different stories of just different things, so this could be just one of the other stories that you hear on. And now it's going to be on a TV series and TV show. So that's what mainly that this season's going to be about. Maybe at the end of they're going to start getting caught up, and they're going to have to leave that warehouse, or they're going to have to find a shady way to just leave. But I have a different idea as well. I just, like I said, I don't want to put too much, in the sense that, I don't want to overkill you with just different storylines right now. Season 4 is going to start, they're going to start finding a way to start bringing in people from Mexico and from Latin America through Mexico, or just anywhere. They're going to start hiring, and they're going to start being able to get people documents and start working for their company, and they're going to start charging them per head a good amount of money. And they're going to be making a lot of money off this. They're going to start, they're basically going to tell them, you come, you pay this amount of money, and we got work, we got a hotel room for you, and let's do it. They're going to charging per head, and there's going to be thousands of people coming in over the borders and stuff like that, coming into work. Season 5 they're gonna get caught up for all these things that they're doing, and they're gonna start merging with a company that's gonna help them get out of trouble. And they're gonna agree. And after doing some agreements, they're gonna go ahead and merge with this company to help them get out of trouble, and just continue doing what they're doing in a different manner. And then after merging with this company, the 5 people that are working with Will and Steve, they're going to become managers and supervisors, and they're going to start going around as managers and supervisors, and they're going to be running teams. They're going to be operating teams. That's going to be season 5. They're going to start running like maybe in a big automotive factory that's actually like moving cars and stuff like that, because I've done that before, and it was fucking dope. It was at a big factory, not a factory, or was it a factory? But you were just moving cars from one lot to the other lot, putting the fucking windshields in them, putting the radios in them. And I wasn't doing it myself, but I was a lead there. So I was taking care of over 200 people that were just set up in different stations, and it was so fucking cool. Good times. But that would be season 5, and we're gonna see a little bit more of. They're gonna start expanding into the new company, so they're gonna start meeting a lot of different people that they didn't hire personally. So, now we're gonna start seeing them adapt to the new company and to the new kinds of people that they're gonna be working with going forward. Because now all the people that were hired through their company are just gonna be staying where they're at. But since they're managers and they moved up, they're gonna need them in different functions or at different states or different places. So they're gonna be moving them around. That was season 5. Season 6. Let me see. I got it right here. And I mean, I've done this a million times, but I just want to do it correctly right here. That way I won't just be saying them out of order and stuff like that. Season 6, they're going to go to 5, 6. Season 6, they're going to go to a dog food factory that they're all going to be basically split up on. They're going to all go to different places. And in this season, they're mainly going to go out and just kind of figure out that it's getting not near the end, but they should basically start. Season 6 is going to be the strike site. So that's everything I was saying earlier about going to different strike sites and being out for a week, whatever. That's season 6. Season 7, this one, is going to be about them basically figuring out that their contracts are going to come up to an end, that they're not going to have to stay with the company in the next couple of years, and they're going to be able to move on. So they're basically going to know that the end is getting near, and this is when they're at the dog food company. They're all going to be alone. They're all going to be by themselves, and they're going to start seeing what they want in life. Character development, basically. 2 characters are going to be brothers. The other 2 are going to be siblings, meaning brother and sister. So the siblings are they're gonna be together as far as in the same warehouse, but everybody else is gonna be separate, including the 5th character. and everybody's just kind of gonna be doing their own thing. They're gonna be meeting up uh, every once in a while, but for the most part, they're gonna be a lot of their own. And like I said, this is where a lot of just storyline that I've been on my own comes into play. Like all this stuff, like I'm just trying to do a quick run through all the seasons, just in case anybody wants to hear. But the last season is gonna be back to square one. They're gonna be recommended by the first warehouse they were at. Um, they're gonna get. They're gonna reach. They're not gonna reach out, but they're gonna basically say, "Hey, we got a new company that moved next door, and they're a new warehouse that's next door to us. But it looks like they're really struggling. They basically came up, and we let them know that you guys are our third party, and they give them another contract right there as well. So, and then this is where the last season is basically gonna be in. They're gonna be able to, just spend it all together. They're all gonna reunite at this last place over here and make one last big contract with this last warehouse. But this is what I meant last time, like what I want from this series, because this series I can really see it like a Degrassi, man. You can just cut the 7 characters that I make, and then somebody else just keep going with them. Just add a whole new bunch of fucking characters, and now you take over the storyline. This is really where I see this type of show going, as far as it has no ending if you didn't want one. But I also want it to be like a Harry Potter, like this shit is on all the time. I bet you any day of the week I can go on TV and I'll find a Harry Potter movie somewhere. I want this show to just have different storylines, different emotions, different, different everything. I just want it to be different from everything else. I want it to be cool to work at a warehouse. I want it to be, just something like no one's ever seen before. The underground world of logistics. Look at all the crazy things that these 7 people are going to be doing. And like I said, I can just keep going with the different storylines that I'm going to be making. But I just wanted to make one rough draft, I guess. I don't know. Just talk into the phone about what this book, what this TV series, what this could be about. And just kind of start getting it out there little by little. But if anybody's interested, just comment down and let me know, or hit me up, and I'll let you know more about the book. I'm gonna try to just do as much as I can and talk about it as much as I can. But as of right now, that's what shipping and receiving, a warehouse TV series, warehouse book is about. These 5 people that come together, start up a traveling third-party logistics company. They come in, start gathering data to cut out the downtime, to cut out all the bullshit that other companies are going to be bringing to the table, and they're going to do it right. They're going to want to build by accuracy, safety, performance, and they're going to be premium. They're going to be professionals. They want to do everything right. So if anybody else is interested in just what else I have to say, just go ahead and hit me up, and we'll just keep going from there.